Hi guys, we are now beginning with the third goal, and of course the first lesson here is going to be a new topic called simple interest, lesson 16.7. Not really that difficult. It is also related to percents but in a different way. Remember, interest is pretty much how money grows. And it can grow when you invest money, that means you want to make more money, or when you get a loan from the bank. And so that means that is going to grow, the debt you have is going to grow, and at the end you're just going to have to pay more money, right? Just because they gave you a loan. Here I want to show you what are the formulas. We have interest equal principal times rate times time. Now, please keep in mind, principal is nothing but the actually just the initial amount of money that we're gonna work with, okay? So that's just principal, the initial amount of money. And then rate is a percent, and is the percent, and remember that percent is pretty much the ratio, right? At what the money is gonna be growing over time. And so time is gonna be given in terms of years. So if we have different units, we're just going to have to make conversions about it. Now, this is just to find the interest, but in a bank account, you're always going to have a balance. A balance is nothing but the total amount of money you have, right? And if you have, activated a savings bank account, then you would have to get a total amount of money at the end. And so that means there is a simple interest that has been working there. How do we find the total? Well, it's pretty simple. Think about the initial amount of money you had and just add the interest you've got over time to it, and that's it. Now, in terms of the years, when we have time, we need to keep in mind that if we have months or weeks or days, whatever it is, which usually is months, we just need to do the conversion. Now, how do we do it? Pretty simple. Think about the months in terms of a fraction with the total as the amount of months in a year. So that's 12. So we know 1 month is 1/12, 2 months is 2/12, 6 months 6/12, 9 months 9/12, and so on, right? And of course, we can simplify, but the very important thing is to get the decimal number. The decimal number is going to allow us to determine how many years we're working with. In 1 month is 0.083 years, or in 2 months is 0.16 years, or in 6 months is 0.5 years. 9 months represent 3/4 of the year, so we know it's going to be 0.75 years, okay? Now, in terms of the rate, there's one thing we need to remember. It's usually a percent. To work with the formula, please make sure to convert it to a decimal. Now remember that to convert it into a decimal, you just have to divide by 100, right? And we're gonna have two keywords we need to keep in mind that are very important for the word problems there. Deposit, pretty much the money you put in the account always, and withdrawals are always gonna be amounts of money that you take out from your bank account, okay? So when you go to the cajero, or well, you're not you, but your parents go to the cajero, they will do a withdrawal. So they get money out of their account, okay? I will do just a few problems with you guys, just to show you how everything works, but it really is not difficult, okay? Begin with number 7. Number 7 tells us to find the interest when we have a principal or initial amount of money of $2,000. Then we have an interest rate of 3.25% per year. That means we're going to have the money for an entire year. So what I'm going to do is to get the formula first. It's actually better just to write down the formula first. That way I don't make any mistakes, okay? And so I'm just going to take the 2,000. And then I'm gonna check. I need to check the rate, and I need to check the time. I need to make sure everything is right for me to be able to use it. Now, the rate is not converted to decimal, so I need to do that. I'm gonna take 3.25 and I'm gonna divide it into 100. Now remember, when I divide by 100, I need to move the decimal point to the left twice, right? We need to do it twice. So we're gonna have 0.0325. So this number goes here, 0.0325. And then the time is a year, so we're good. We just write down 1. And then please do your math. I already did mine, and my answer is actually $65. Now the problem also asks you to get the total amount or the sum in the account. So I'm gonna use the other formula, and so I know the total here is going to be, of course, the $2,000 plus the 65. That's gonna be $2,065. Sorry, I need to write down the dollar sign. There you go. See? So that is $2,065. Let's do problem 8. Problem 8 now gives us a principal of $10,060, a rate of 3.3%, and a time of 6 months. Again, I'm gonna check first on what I have I'm ready to work with, and of course I need to do a conversion here to decimal, right? So I'm gonna divide into 100. Again, I'm gonna move the decimal point twice to the left, 0.033, right? And then 6 months, of course, I need to convert it into years. So I know it's gonna be 0.5 years, right? Now I'm able to use the formula, of course. So 10,060, 10,060 times 0.033 times 0.5. So my math here is $165.99. Again, they ask to get the total, right? So we're gonna find that too. We had $10,060 plus $165, so that gets into $10,225.99. Let me get the dollar sign. Now I want to work with you guys on problem 11. It says Lydia opened an account with $300, a $300 deposit. After 6 months, her balance was $303.75. She made no more deposits and no withdrawals. Which account plan did she choose? Please keep in mind the chart they show you here in the text, right? We need to decide what is the saving plan she chose, and that of course is determined by the rate, which if you think about, she opened an account with $300. That is an initial amount of money, so it's the principal, right? She did not make any deposit, so that means she never put money in, so she didn't add more money to those $300. But she neither actually do any withdrawals, so she never actually took any money out, so she never changed those $300, okay? Now they also tells us that she saved for 6 months. That is the time the money actually stayed in the account. And at the end of those 6 months, she ends up with $303.75. So that is a very important aspect to keep into account, okay? So after all, we can actually determine that rate is the one thing we need to find. First thing I need to determine though, it's what is the interest, because remember we have two formulas here. We have the interest, simple interest formula here, and we have the total formula here. Now if you think about both formulas, the only formula where the R is at is here in the simple interest formula. So I need to get the interest to be able to work with that formula. I'm gonna do that. How do I do it? Well, I'm gonna use the total formula, right? And then I'm gonna, of course, replace the information I already have. I do have the total. The total is $303.75. My bad, I'm not aligning the equal signs. Let me try to fix this up here, just because it's a little bit more organized. You know, order is actually everything. And then principal, of course, is going to be $300 plus the interest. Now to isolate I, we just need to use inverse operations here. So we're going to subtract those $300 on the other side, right? There you go. Sorry guys, I'm not able to keep them aligned, the equal sign, but I hope you understand that way. And so if we get the result, it's gonna be $3.75. Of course, this is money, right? Now with that, I can use the other formula. That means the simple interest formula. And then again, I'm going to replace all the data I already have. So I do have the interest, it's $3.75. I do have the principal. I don't have the rate. And the time is given in months. So first we need to do the conversion, which we already have it, so it's fine. Right? Now, before I get rid of these two numbers next to the R, I would probably just operate them first, multiply them first, just to make everything a little bit more organized. So I know 300 times 1.5 is actually 150 R, right? And then I can just use inverse operations. I know I gotta divide on both sides. And so this is gonna get me 0.25 here, and here I can cancel and isolate the R. Now remember, in the formula, the rate is always going to be a decimal. So we actually need to do an extra step, and that is to take the 002.5 and multiply it by 100. Now remember, when we multiply the point, the decimal point got to go to the right. How many times? Twice, of course. 1 and 2. So we're going to have 2.5%. That is the rate that we got. So here, now we know what the rate is. Okay? And so if we check on the chart, that actually corresponds to the savings plus plan. Okay? So this is pretty much the answer. That's the way we need to work. We need to read carefully though, because think about this problem. It wasn't about only just use the formula and replace the values, right? We need to think a little bit more. We needed to think a little bit more and to analyze a little bit more. So just keep in mind how you read and the jargon. Deposit, withdrawal, account balance, bank account. If we are able to use the jargon, everything is going to be right. Now, you can use your dictionary all the time. It's fine. Okay? Well, I guess I'll see you for lesson 18.8.